What's up, guys? We're back. Oh, I forgot my watch. Crazy. So, if you watched the last video, you saw we had some issues with the Aprilia at the race school. So, today's going to be all about fixing that. And it's going to involve pulling the tank off. So, this will be fun. But let me show you what we're installing. I realized in the last video I kept calling it a UMI thing, but it's actually an IMU. So Gabro Racing makes this kit, shipped from Italy, so very cool. And it's essentially just a bracket for the IMU module, and it just sits in there, and it's got some extra bushings. I guess it's a little bit more dampening than whatever is stock. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, so let's get started on this. It does come with instructions. I didn't read them, but I probably will, but I'm not going to bore you guys with that. I'll just take you through the install. But yeah, let's get this thing ready because we need more seat time on it before our first race with it. So this process will be a lot easier with the track pairings than it would be if this bike was stock, because it's only 4 bolts to get this thing off. Alright, so I thought there was going to be a special clamp here, but I forgot that I put the zip tie here. So, not sure what happened to that clamp, but we just need to get these two disconnected, but we'll probably do that after we get the tank loosened up from the frame. But we need to take these out right here, and then there's some bolts under here that are all 8mm, and then this 8mm right here. To number 3. It's pretty easy. Cover comes right off. Oh, poor Jigsaw. It's basically just a parts holder now. Just kidding. We're actually bringing this to STD2. I got an old buddy coming with us that hasn't ridden on the track since we were in college together, so he'll be riding this thing while I'm on this, so super fun time. Okay, so now that this cover's off, we have these 2 bolts here, and it's good to see this because I need to get rid of this assembly for the push button start so that I don't have to have a key anymore, but that's later down the line. For now, I'm just trying to get this thing, you know, functioning properly without any hiccups. So, but eventually we'll be replacing that. All right. This should be everything disconnected, I imagine. Okay, so the tank was able to get lifted. It's just a little stiff. So I went ahead and disconnected these 2 lines right in here. Jesus Christ, that was a bitch. All right, it's disconnected. I'll show you all how I did that in a second. All right, so there's only 2 plugs. This one's easy. It's just one little plastic latch that goes over that. And then this was the pain in the ass right here. Oh, yeah, got a little gas coming out of there. To be expected. It's okay if we spill a little bit because it's dripping outside, so. Oh, man. What a pain in the ass, fellows. This one right here, so what you do is it's going to look like this. You got to push the yellow clip down like that, and then squeeze these black tabs on either side. And for some reason I couldn't get it from that side, but when I came to this side it clicked out immediately. So all right, we are all good. Hopefully we didn't get any gasoline on anything. Yeah, so here's the IMU right here, and man, we got some. This probably isn't helping, this shit rattling on there. But yeah, we're gonna clean stuff up in here a bit. I think this is gonna have to get pushed out and clipped in outside once we get it installed, but it should be pretty easy. Just stick it out there for now. But yeah, let's get these out. Those look like 8mm. We'll go ahead and unplug it, do all that fun stuff, and I guess I'll read the instructions now just to make sure I don't miss anything. So all right, but actually before we get into all that, I did want to take the airbox off just to look at things under here. Everything looks good. I think this is an OEM filter and it's clean, so we'll keep it for now. And these are the OEM velocity stacks. So I think what we're gonna do just at some point is probably swap these out for the Gabro Racing ones, and we'll likely do like a DNA filter or something just for a little more airflow. 85 horsepower on a dyno after it's been tuned is actually pretty low. It should have made a little bit more than that. These things stock were supposed to make 85 to like 87. So I'm not sure why mine's lacking a little bit in power there, because like the air fuel and everything looked on point. So maybe mine is just a little bit slower than, you know, the average. Yeah, so I don't know if I'd actually spring to change the tune after I do this stuff. Maybe I will. We'll have to see. But I'm not going to get it dynoed again after some velocity stacks. But just as a side note, because I was curious, figured maybe you guys might have been too. But yeah, I'm going to put the airbags back on and then we'll start on the IMU. All right, so just a little switch here. So get it unplugged. There it goes. Set that off there to the side behind that. I think that's probably a fuse or something. Okay, so we'll just take our 8mm. All right, yeah. Yeah, these are gonna be tight. I'm pretty sure they're red Loctited, so just want to be careful with this thing because I don't want to have to do this job again. Alright guys, well I may have really fucked up on this. There's inserts under here, right? And when I was loosening them, I was just trying to stick my finger in here and hold it. But they used plastic to hold these metal inserts in place, and so I think they're stripping, which is a big problem. So I've got some WD-40 sitting on the threads, and of course Aprilia decided to use red Loctite, so that's fantastic, you know, big brain move there. If I sound upset, it's because I am a little bit, but I mean, it's loose, but I literally can't get these bolts out. Like, there's not even really a way to grab this insert down here. Well guys, after trying everything, I've officially given up. I cannot outsmart the Italian engineers, so I've tried everything. I've even got a soldering iron. Like, I heated the bolt up. I've been shoving stuff into, like, I just can't believe they use plastic, bro. Like, that's just so stupid, but, oh, I'm so angry. I even used picks to like get up in there next to the insert with the plastic to try to hold it from moving. The problem is like this spring, man, you just can't get anything up in there. So I don't know what else to do. So I'm going to Harbor Freight. I'm gonna get a Dremel because I don't have one, and I'm gonna cut these bolts out and just be fucking done with it. Yeah, I'm so over it, dude. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Holy shit, guys. Okay. I got one of the inserts out. It's in this little shot glass here. It's got a little bit of kerosene, and wow, they used so much red Loctite. Like, not even a normal amount. We got one out, one left to go. I'm just cutting the bolts. Yeah, I have a plan for getting them back in there to where they'll stay enough for me to at least get these tight enough. So sorry, it's a mess in here. Had to make a Harbor Freight run, and yeah, but I'm down to my last cutting wheel. I keep breaking them, but we got the first one out, just that one to go. This one's going to be a little bit more of a pain in the ass because of all these wires that are here that I really don't want to clip. So I guess I'll be back when I get that other bolt out. All right, 2 trips to Harbor Freight later. It's out. Here's the washers. Make sure to keep those because we're gonna need them. And yeah, so these have been sitting in acetone for a little bit now, not too long. But man, even when I was able to cut the head off of those bolts, they're not even here. I threw them away already. Even when I was able to cut the head off of them, I had to use these snap-on pistol grips, and I mean squeeze the shit out of, like, there was no way those were not coming undone, like, without me having to do this. So I don't think everyone's is like that, because most people don't have a problem getting these bolts out. but I had the worst fucking experience doing that just now. So like, I'm still kind of pissed off about it. I think mine was just probably a one-off. So I mean, let me know in the comments if any of you guys have this bike and you also did the IMU bushing kit thing. Let me know how those bolts are, because wow, like that is probably the worst design I've ever seen. Like, I just don't understand. I can't fathom why you would decide to put not only it's an acetone, I don't even want to grab it, not only like a metal nut inside plastic, but you're gonna put a metal nut in plastic with only that much surface area. Like, does that make any sense? Like, why would you choose to do that? So whatever, dude. I'm like over it. We got them out. I had to go buy a Dremel, and I ran out of the cutting discs that the Dremel came with. They kept breaking on me, which was my fault. But so I had to go back to Harbor Freight again, get more cutting discs. What a nightmare, dude. But now we're ready to, here's the IMU, by the way, ready to start. I'm gonna clean this thing up. It's covered in WD-40. I just hope that I didn't you know, superheat this too much. I didn't hit it with the Dremel or anything, but when I was using the soldering iron on the head of the bolts to try to get them out, I just worried that it's I don't know. I don't think so. I'm just hoping I didn't fry this thing like internally. But all right, so it's been sitting in acetone. I can literally see the red Loctite like in the bottom of the shot glass, so that's good. I'm just threading the new bolt from Gabro Racing into this. It's a little bit tight. There's still some gunk in the threads, but I just want to make sure that the threads are as clean as they can possibly be before I continue on with my plan to fix this mess. I do have a plan to correct this mess, so I just want to make sure everything's going to go smoothly once I do it, because once I go through with this plan, there's not really any going back per se. So all right, that's bottomed out. Let's back it out again, and we want to make sure this is dry as well. Probably going to hit this with some brake clean, and then my plan involves just you know, God forbid if any of you guys are in this situation, you're going to need a Dremel and a lot of cutting wheels. But while I was at Harbor Freight, I saw this epoxy. Now, this is a little marred up, of course, you know, but I'm going to put a little bit of epoxy on the smooth part, and I'm going to make sure some gets smeared along the hex head here. Hex head. Whatever the fuck this shit's called. I don't know. I'm like losing my mind in here. But, and then I'm going to press it up in there, and at the very least get these started, and hopefully this is theoretically quick setting, so I mostly just want it to not move, and to, once it dries, it creates mass that will sit on each of these edges, and hopefully reverse the effects of it being stripped. And this isn't stripped at all, it's the plastic on the undercarriage of the bike. And I was looking at it, we do not want to replace that. That's going to require, I'm pretty sure, pulling out the wiring harness, and that is probably the last thing I want to do to this thing right now. So we are going to hack it away, as they say, and do it jank factory style. I just need it to work, you know, like no one's ever going to see it, doesn't matter. So yeah, let's fish this other one out of here. Dude, there's so much red Loctite. It's insane. I just don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Especially when you make the sensor so sensitive that if you put stiffer suspension on the bike, it's guaranteed to pretty much go off. Like, that's just wild. Make it make sense, Aprilia. This one is a lot cleaner because I couldn't really reach it, so I didn't get to mar it up like I did that one. This one's like perfectly smooth. So I think this will thread a little bit easier. Yeah, a little bit, not a lot. All right, guys, it's the next day. it looks like this all worked out. So these are tight in there. I'm sure that glue is set by now. It's had time to cure and everything is solid. These are all in place. So I think I'm gonna have to use some tweezers to get them put into this top bracket here. And I did screw up. I accidentally over tightened this one and the threads literally just broke off. So thankfully I had a washer. I had the OEM washer under it, so I just took that washer out. I prefer to have the washers in there. Like I left the washer on this side, but I don't think it's super important. So when you guys tighten the IMU to this, just be careful, hand tight pretty much. And just to make sure they don't come loose, I put some blue Loctite, and I put a bunch down in there too, because that's not a lot of thread that's holding this nut on, but it's tight, it's not going anywhere, and honestly, no one's gonna see it, but yeah, it makes me nervous. I've definitely botched this install a little bit, but I think it's gonna work. So let's essentially we're gonna put this in like this. We want the plug facing forward, and yeah, so I'm gonna go find some tweezers because I'm gonna need those to fish these little rubber bushings through the holes. Yeah, tweezers are definitely going to be the move for these little guys. These are a huge pain in the ass to kind of force through here. This one's kind of torn up a little bit because I tried to use a pick on it before resorting to tweezers. So just as a heads up, these are just some random bullshit tweezers I have in my bathroom. So yeah, all I'm doing is I'm kind of just coming from below and squeezing it together as best I can. And I try to get one corner of the blue to go inside, so that way I can latch onto it with the tweezers and then pull it through. So can't really do that while filming, so I'll be back when I get that in. All right guys, it is all in there. Nothing else broke, thank God. So as you can kind of see how it moves, it's able to move a lot more than the OEM setup. It looks like the OEM setup is literally just in the IMU itself. There's like rubber around the insert that they pressed in for the mounting point. So obviously, like, that's probably barely enough for this bike to handle while it's, you know, stock, and then start adding K-Tech suspension to it and stuff, and all of a sudden it loses its mind. So anyways, I was worried I was gonna have to move the negative terminal on the battery, but I think it's out of the way, so we're good there. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through down here and make sure everything's clean and plugged in. Oops. Yeah, we did get a lot of gunk on the rear shock, so I'm gonna clean that up. But yeah, also you will have to take out this back little plastic tray. It's right there on the floor, just so I could get in there for the back two mounts. All right, now that all that stuff's buttoned up, we do have one small thing we need to do to the gas tank. And we have to replace this bolt right here. So this is the back of the tank. This is the one furthest back and to the right. That's next to this metal bracket. So it's a, what size is that? It's like a 7 mil? Yeah. So I'm just gonna take this off and pop in the new screw. All right, there's the old bolt. Nothing too fancy, but gives us a little more clearance here. So I guess the yeah, the head on this is pretty thick, so there might be some clearance issues there. Not totally sure, but well, it's the only thing that makes sense. But yeah, it's in there. Just snugged it up. No torque spec or nothing. So I think, oops, we are just about ready to throw the tank back on the bike. All right, so the last two bits we have, we got this little blue spacer here. That's just gonna sit under the tank, but it doesn't hold itself there. So, and then we also had to replace the OEM bolt for the top part that secures the back of the tank. So it's the same bolt, it's just a little bit longer. So yeah, we should be ready to throw the tank back on this thing. So I'll get that handled. It doesn't fit anymore. Let me figure this out. Okay, tank's on. Another pain in the ass. Came off perfectly, but to get it on, I actually had to put the front on first, right? Get it all the way up against this. and then I had to take the mallet and literally beat it down. So, but it's all in there now. Man, just started it. It runs good. You can see the IMU in there. It looks to be okay. Yeah, we literally scraped a lot of dust and paint off this plastic shit. So, yeah, but oh man, what a pain, dude. I'm gonna go ahead and finish buttoning the bike up. I don't think you guys really need to, you know, watch all that, but the bike does run, everything's good. And I can't really ride it here on the street and like get it to set itself off again if it is gonna do it. So we'll just have to see if the Gabro Racing thing will fix our issue, but I think it will, based off everything I've seen. Once people install these, they no longer have the IMU issue anymore, so we should be all set. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Man, this turned into a 3-day struggle fest, so if you guys are gonna do this install, just be prepared for literally everything to go wrong. A couple different trips to Harbor Freight if you don't have the right tools, but yeah, I'll leave it there.